Oh, this is
and
ridiculous. Watch
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Uh,
And they
they go off a
say,
cliff, dude.
"Hi, everybody. Revival House. Aaron, Riverman.
Hey, 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 what's up?
It's Friday night. That's what's up. It is Friday night, 10:30 CST roughly, and that means it's commentary
Labor
time.
Day weekend too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Happy holiday, everybody. Nothing better to kick off a Labor Day weekend than to just stress your brain and eyes out by watching what we're about to watch. So tonight we're gonna you know what? We're kind of going in theme like we did last week, where we did one film that is important to our history in a sense that we talk about a lot, at least on the show. Last week we did Haunted Ween, which turned out
Yep.
very, very well. And it was a much better movie, if I'm being honest. But this
Mhm.
week we wanted to do Children of the Living Dead. This is a flick that Riverman and I, it's part of our history, and we've talked about it a lot in the last 13 years of the show, so we thought it only necessary to do it. But we are stoked. We do have a link to the video that you guys can stream and watch with us in the description, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching this after the fact. So go ahead and get it pulled up. We are raring to go, and I think the actual file, I think it just starts with Westwood Artists International. Like, once it's black, and then you get the shitty people who made this movie popping up. So
Gotcha. Okay,
it's
yeah,
it's
I'm
it's
I'm
kind of,
watching the YouTube link myself, so
yeah. So just zero it out. All right.
okay.
So really quick, thank you guys. I want to remind everybody to be here 8:30 Central Time on Wednesdays, 10:30 Central Time on Saturdays. We do these live, and these commentaries go up the following week on Mondays and Saturdays. So thank you to the people that showed up. And without further ado, we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Play. Put me out of my misery.
Oh, there we go.
So for those that don't know the story, in high school, Riverman and I would cruise around in his Corsica, and we usually end up at Best Buy or some kind of like CD warehouse movie type of place or Suncoast. And we found ourselves at Best Buy, and Riverman had an itch for a film. I think I was going to spend the night at his house or whatever, and he bought. I don't remember whose idea. It had to have been your idea to buy
It was
Children of the
mine.
Dead.
It was mine because I saw that Tom Savini was in it, and I saw it was a new zombie film, and I'm like, John Russo produced it. I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out.
Yeah, John Russo produced this, all right. That's nobody fucking produced this piece of dog shit,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what a title. Like, no, this a production? Introducing A. Barrett Warland as Abbott Hayes, or as we like to call Joe Cash. You guys don't know who that is. But I love it. Abbott Hayes, Abbott Hayes.
Oh, they're
I
all
love how
afraid
this.
of Abbott Hayes.
Oh, and you know what's so funny? Stunts coordinated by Tom Savini. Tom Savini
Mhm.
hasn't taken his name off this movie, but Alan Holdsworth did.
Oh, really? Okay.
Alan, dude, it's scrubbed. You go on IMDb, I think anywhere else, I can't find his
No,
name.
it's right
Alan,
there. Music
yeah,
by Alan Goldsworth,
but
yeah.
it's scrubbed online.
Oh, okay.
It's not in his filmography. It's not anywhere. Alan Holworth, obviously, he was a right hand to John Carpenter for most of all
Yeah,
those classic Carpenter film and scores.
protege, yeah.
And I I don't know. I don't know. The music isn't
She
good
needs to
in
get
this.
through it.
I don't even the music, even like where it has promise, it almost kind of reeks of he gave him like some B-side scrap stuff and somebody else just kind of put it wherever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's such a lack of score in a lot of places that it just lacks any dynamic and any tension. You saw that chick, right, that wrote this movie, Karen, whatever her face is. Karen, what's her tits? Dude,
Karen, Wolf.
yeah, she is a daughter of the producer.
Mhm,
And Joseph Wolf, I guess he was a producer on Nightmare on Elm Street, and
mhm.
a couple of other big films and stuff. This film reeks of nepotism.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
And
much.
it's so funny because our boy Gamer Guy, I'm actually going to highlight you, Gamer Guy. He says the guy who played the cemetery zombie in Night of the Living Dead did the cinematography. Huh? Yes. So Gamer
Bill
Guy hooked me
Heinzman?
up. Yeah, you hooked me up with a really great link that kind of goes over a lot of this stuff. It'll probably come out naturally, but I want to read that at some point during this commentary. And that is part of the thing where you know, the guy who played the cemetery zombie right, did the cinematography. And it all comes down to, was he was Wolf's friend. It just turned into this project where Joe Wolf is letting his daughter, like, do who has no experience, get her script made. And he's friends with the Night of the Living Dead guy, and he's giving his buddy a job, which what has he done? What he did a couple of shitty movies, right?
Who?
As the zombie, I don't know his name like you do.
Bill Heinzman, the original cemetery zombie
Yeah,
from Night of the
yeah,
Living Dead?
he's
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
this.
He did, Flesh Eater, and he was in Night of the Living Dead, so that's it.
No, but he did a couple of other flicks for sure. He did
Yeah.
the cinematography, and
Oh,
they're
okay.
terrible. Yeah. So, and we'll go into this email in a bit, but one of the big complaints is the budget got squandered because this movie actually cost $500,000 to make,
Yeah.
which it looks like it was shot on
Crazy.
camcorder.
Yeah.
And one of the big reasons apparently is misappropriation of funds. For example, him being a buddy of Joe Russo, he gave him quadruple the budget that he
Mhm.
should have gotten. Like, he was hooking up his buddies. And I guess the writer, Karen, I guess she was just a total pill, man. She had just a God complex, Orson Welles complex with her script, and it was clearly terrible. Like, nobody liked it, but you couldn't even change it. You couldn't change a damn word about it. And
I
that's not
think
how you
John Russo, like, rewrote it, like, 7 different times, but no, they had to go with her
Yeah, because she
script.
put her foot down, and we'll get into that. Like, she came on set. She was acting more like a producer, which, her dad was the producer, I guess. So
Mhm.
that's kinda like where she had people by the balls. But when you're the writer, dude, first of all, if you want your shit to be as untainted as possible, make your own movie. Write a script and make it yourself. But she's just the damn writer. Like, normally she wouldn't have a fucking pot to piss in on what happens on the screen, but it's just the fact that her dad was the nut swinger. So she got to act like she was a producer and just
Oh,
pull her weight around.
real quick, we're missing the best part here. Tom Savini did.
And even this isn't good, and it's
It's
so
not
funny.
good.
Dude, like, why? I I don't know. I just, everything's overdubbed, and the
Yeah.
Tom Savini stuff is so silly because it's usually when you hear the Tom lines, his you don't even see his face, so it just
They
sounds really odd.
they put in dialogue where he's not even talking.
Yeah, that's all over this damn
Ye
movie.
Yeah. Especially when he's taking a shot here coming up, like, he's talking on the dub, but his mouth isn't even moving.
Yeah. No,
So
it's all over the damn thing. In that email, the director goes on to say that basically he had no invite for the editing process. He turned in a director's cut, which he thought was as salvaged as possible, and it was decent. And the bitch took it and hired someone else to re-edit it, and they chose like the worst shots. He's like, look, I had way more material to go off of. The reason why you're getting all these close-ups and awkward fucking shots, it's like that's just what they decided to throw together. And then she made an executive decision to bring in all the actors after the fact and re-record the dialogue over everything. And he said that's why it sounds fucking wooden and terrible, is because
mhm.
they didn't have any direction, and they're just re-recording their lines for some damn reason.
Oh,
And
the
he said,
direction for Tom Savini was just be Sex Machine, where you're jumping on cars
well,
and shooting.
and his explanation is the reason why the Tom Savini part, because talk about a bait and switch, right? We
Yeah.
bought he bought this because of Tom Savini. We get it. It starts off, I guess, with a fucking bang where you got action and you got Tom Savini, but Tom Savini's gonna die in like 5 minutes. And then after that, we just remembered it being the movie where Tom Savini kicks ass for like 10 minutes max, and then it just becomes about some weird fucking creepy zombie wandering around the woods. And,
He
and
he
just
he
not a lot.
blows up the gas tank from the rear of the trunk. He shoots the trunk and blows up the car. It's a pretty
Yeah,
good
but
shot there.
But anyway, so I guess on set, the script was terrible. Nobody liked it. He said it was a constant thing of every actor being like, this line doesn't make sense. And, a lot of filmmakers, unless you're Quentin Tarantino and your shit doesn't stink, a lot of filmmakers are totally open with playing. Like, let's workshop it while we go, right? We have a script. If we got the time, let's film it with what's on the script, and then let's do another take where we improvise a little bit and change stuff. You kind of work on the fly a little bit, and sometimes the script, as far as dialogue, is just sort of a guiding light. And so that's what the director did on this film. where they were altering it as they went because wow, this shit is bad.
Mhm.
These lines are bad. This is bad. A lot of this shit doesn't make sense. This needs to go. There's all this fat on there because apparently I think it's like that she wouldn't do any rewrites. I think it was like this one draft and she wouldn't
Yeah,
do any rewrites.
yeah.
She refused to do any rewrites. So anyway, when they had the director's cut in their hands, she was probably pissed because it wasn't her dialogue, or they made changes and adjustments and the way it was cut. So she had it recut. She injected all the fucking bullshit and she had the actors come back in and force read dialogue over shit and even to the point where it's in places where lips aren't moving to get it
What
in there.
did they say why that they had that filter on there in the beginning of the movie where it was, like,
It,
trying to be night because
he does talk about that in the email.
oh, he does.
Because yeah, in the message, because that's one of the critiques is for some fucking reason the beginning of the movie has a weird blue tint. I'd like to just give him the benefit of the doubt and thinking it's some homage to Night of the Living Dead, but fucking let's face it, no, it's not. It's a net. It's like it should have been more of a reddish or a brownish or something would look cooler. But
Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't remember if he
and then it just
addressed.
switches and the next scene I mean, it's the same scene, but just a cut, and then it just changes back. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So
To
wait. So
daylight, so I don't know.
hold on, gamer guy. I hope the writer producer's daughter hasn't done anything else. I didn't look, but dude, I can't imagine she has.
No, I think she's done, like, 3 projects without including this one.
The sun was rising. Okay, silhouette. Get off their dick. And the sun was blue. Yeah, exactly. Here, I actually got it. Maybe I can kind of go piecemeal on this email and just kind of take it little by little because there's some interesting stuff in here that it's going to be hard to kind of remember all of it. But basically, to give credit where it's due, there is this website called Homepage of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I remember Homepage of the Dead.
Yeah, they got the Pantera font.
Yeah.
HPOTD, interesting. And there is a contributor, and this contributor, his name was Travis Stoffs, and he posted a lengthy review on
I
this
used
movie
to
on
go on this
IMDb.
all the time back in the '90s even. This has been around for a long time.
Yeah, I might not read the whole thing at once, but I might try and keep it relevant. So I'll try and kind of go through it as we go. But yeah.
Real quick, we're watching the zombies can't kill kids, which doesn't make any fucking sense. They're gonna say this right here.
Oh, did they actually say that? Like though they can't
Yes. They don't
like
kill
that's
kids. Zombies don't kill kids.
okay.
Yeah. Watch this here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but look, they look healthy. They look
Yeah.
clean. They look like they're well taken care of. I mean, who hasn't slept in a chicken coop? Come
Yeah.
on. It's not child abuse. They make a weird Play-Doh joke here.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be because he's supposed to be a Play-Doh.
But yeah, and we'll get into that later. This movie, by the way, is an amalgamation of Nightmare on Elm Street, the Freddy Krueger character. It's got Poltergeist with them trying with this whole fucking plot point of a dealership moving in and you didn't move the bodies,
Yeah.
you didn't move the headstones. And it's got elements of, I guess, Night of the Living Dead, because really it's not a very traditional zombie movie. The zombies feel so injected in this too. It's like
Mhm.
it easily could have been about the guy, the ghost, the boogeyman of whoever this guy is. And there's a
Abbott Hayes.
yeah. So why the zombies can't hurt children, but I think it's explained well enough that the kids just aren't hurt because he was a Play-Doh file and he was keeping them for his enjoyment, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so they do 14 years this is 14 years prior, and then they
It's
go
like
7
there's
years after, and then
three
they go
time jumps in this damn
yeah,
fucking thing.
but the next 7 years later is freaking hysterical, man. What happens?
Yeah, and then guess what? Then like in 5 minutes, we're 1 year later.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it's just so many time jumps in such a short amount of time because this is not The Godfather Part 2.
yeah.
Don't kid yourself. Where there's time jumps back and forth and it's a 3.5 hour movie. Like it's so
Oh, this is ridiculous.
it's disorienting, really. It's like, what year is this now? What year is this now?
Tom Savini, the zombie hunter, doesn't shoot him in the head. Oh, there you go, Tom.
What does he say? Like, grow a spine or what is
Yeah.
it? A backbone. Do it. I mean, this is where the movie ends, guys.
It's
No, I was
funny
kidding.
because you hear those shell casings hitting cement, but they're in a barn. so you wouldn't hear those shell casings hit.
Yeah, whoever did the sound, man,
Terrible.
the sound library they used didn't make any fucking sense. They weren't doing any foley that was appropriate. Like you said, the shells wouldn't be hitting cement if they're in a fucking hay stacked barn. It makes
Yeah.
no sense.
There's
This guy
JC.
this guy is like, what's the deal with him? First of all, why does he have claws? He's a zombie.
It's supposed to be some sort of
And why is he like a
Dracula-esque zombie
yeah,
or something.
why is he like got powers, dude?
Yeah.
He's strong. Look, he holds up Savini with one hand.
Mhm.
And none of this stuff is really. I know they have like a big exposition dump towards the end of the movie, like with the girl talking, going over, oh, he died in prison, blah, blah. But,
They
or no,
they
actually, they
they
have
s
that dump in 7 years later when they're in the van because it's part Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a bunch of fucking rednecks in a van going to a concert, right?
Yeah, so I guess Karen Wolf kinda said that, A Abbott Hayes is supposed to be a Nosferatu of zombies, giving him long fingernails and glowing blue eyes.
Silhouette. I miss the days of the library when you could play computer games and download steel LOL library programs of music.
Yeah?
Math Blasters, dude. Oregon Trail. Gamer guy, this is a great point. And this is what I was asking myself too. Why doesn't Savini fight back? Is he stupid? He was on the ground and he let the Abbott guy come near him and bite him. Like he's
Mhm.
like, "Ah!" Like, roll, dude, move. We just watched you backflip and do all kinds of crazy shit. Roll over and get out of the way.
Remember, when we watched this back in 2001 and Tom Savini gets killed in the first, I guess it's 10 minutes now, and we're like, "Well, we don't wanna watch this shit anymore."
It was so boring. I remember like we had already eaten all of our chili cheese burritos, and we were
Mhm.
just like in a coma. And I'm like, It's just a boring movie. Like it's just this fucking zombie." It felt like there was no budget left, and they blew it all on this intro. And it's a
I
zombie movie with one zombie, which there is going to be a few more, which is almost like the only reason why you have the 7 year later thing. I think they should have completely taken out the 7 year later segment. It's
well,
confusing.
I heard that they filmed, like, 20 more minutes of, like, special effects stuff, but they put in they they messed up with the camera or something. They put the film in backwards, so it messed up all the footage.
Yep, that's in this. You want me to read that? I'll read that stuff. It's here. Everything's here, man. Yeah, so basically but yeah, it's done, and he said in the email, you'll hear it, where he said, the reason why the movie gets so much worse after the Tom Savini part, is
Yeah.
because that's when Karen came on set, and
Oh,
I I don't know,
it still
but
wasn't good the first
because he
15
he
minutes.
was he was saying John Russo, not John Russo, that Joe Wolf, I guess, didn't really know who Tom Savini was, because he said once he realized that Tom Savini was as big a name as he was in the genre, he had regrets. Like, we should have centered the whole damn movie around him.
Yeah,
Yeah, no shit. Some producer.
you would
But
think.
anyway, nice pie. This feel it's like desert. This don't have shit on desert heat, dude.
God's
But
acting wooden.
yeah,
It's so wooden,
so
man.
and this is like a little bit like TCM, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's got these little elements of all kinds of things thrown together in a blender, except these guys are insufferable. This is like I I don't know, they're all, like, annoying in this, and I kinda love it how they die. Like,
They get what they deserve, man.
yeah, it's stupid. You get the expo dump, though. And this dialogue sucks, dude. It makes no s
Terrible.
like, "Abba, stop, don't say it, Abba." Who's really scared of it? Who's really scared of this fucking lore? "No, it really bothers me, stop saying it,
Yeah,
Abba,
Abbott. Oh, that's great.
Abba." Like, are they trying to, like, summon him like Beetlejuice? Like, first of all, these guys look like they're probably supposed to be teenagers. Look, he's got the earring on the wrong ear, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he
Uh,
does.
hey, that was a '90s thing. I don't think it's a thing anymore, but that's anyway.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I just first of all, it doesn't look sunny enough to warrant those shades, buddy, pal, bub. But these guys, they said that they had no makeup department, no wardrobe. It's just they all look like they had to hire actors locally because Wolf refused to let him go SAG, and so he had to hire non-SAG actors in Pennsylvania. And, these are all just rookies, man, and it does. This cost $500,000.
This
Half a
dude
million do
this dude's dressed like Ethan Embry, dude, with the hat on.
Yeah, it's try hard. It's like, hey, you could tell they it's like, bring a bunch of shit from your own closet. Like,
Yeah.
just dress yourselves, come in and then they're like all trying hard. But anyway, yeah, this is what he says. So this guy by the name of Travis Stoffs, I'm gonna read a segment of it. But I still attest that they should just remove this whole bit. It should have
Mhm.
just jumped 8 years into the
Yeah.
future, and we had the cemetery, and we don't need the story of these
Who
people.
cares? Yeah.
Like, it could just be a cemetery, a burial, whatever, and then go straight to the grave robbers that make no fucking sense either,
Yeah.
and go from there. And then I get it, it's like a callback because later they're like these people like zombie. Like, who gives a fuck?
Mhm.
Like, we could be any zombies. Like, they just pick anybody out of the damn graveyard. Yeah, Silhouette, we need Sugar Ray music
Yeah,
in
that's a
this.
great comment there.
Which is worse, Children of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead 2 Contagium? I'd have to watch Contagium
I've
again.
never seen Contagium. I'm
I
supposed to be
I
getting it from Aaron, but he can't
it
find the
I
DVD
can't
for me.
find it. I lost it. It's I no longer have it.
You
It
need to
pisses me
get it
off.
for me because you
I
said
owe
you were
you.
gonna give it to
I
me.
owe 'cause is it on YouTube? It's gotta be on YouTube. Maybe that's like the next bad film we do that's on YouTube.
Well, it's some I've never seen it. I do wanna see it.
I watched it with, my buddy from Missouri once, and it was kinda like this where I couldn't remember what I just watched. I paid more attention this time than I did 20 something years ago,
Really.
but well, we forgot it. You didn't know anything about this movie. We remember the Tom Savini part, and what's funny is I remembered it wrong. I remembered it was at night.
Yeah,
I totally thought that intro scene with Tom Savini killing all his life was at night, and I also disregarded that there was anybody else there. I remembered it being just Tom Savini at night killing all these zombies in the
yeah,
barn,
yeah.
but it's at daytime with a blue tent and then a regular daytime tent, and then there's like a cop and there's other guys. I don't remember any of that, but
No, I remember the action parts, and they're not even the great action. Oh god, there's
yeah,
a
this is what 12 years of rot has done to him. Isn't it how
the
many years? How many years is it? 14,
four
12,
four
12?
four 14, and he's got the, Scary Movie mask on, probably from the Halloween store, dude.
Yeah, it's really, really stupid. But he's been wandering around. Now he's okay, so we've jumped in time and now is it really 14 years? Is that how long? I want to get it right.
Yeah, they said 14 years.
So in that time frame, he's now become like this urban legend. Like, ooh, they say he still walks around.
Oh, this is
And
ridiculous, watch
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Ugh.
And they
Like, off a
say
cliff, dude.
they happen to be talking about him, and then he happens to actually just be walking in the middle of broad daylight, and he keeps laughing. Ha, 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 ha. He's get this real cheesy. He was doing lunges. Why was he doing lunges off
Nosferatu,
screen?
dude.
See, what is wrong with this zombie? But nobody has seen him? Is he Nosferatu where he's sleeping in a coffin?
Yeah,
Or is
I
he
don't
just
know.
wandering around? Like, how has nobody seen him? What's even more absurd is in 1 year, when all those people that just died in the van come out and they're like zombies, where have they been hiding for a fucking year?
Yeah, I don't know.
They just come out of nowhere, and I'm like, these guys have just been what have they been feasting on? And what have they been, like, living underground? Like, it doesn't make any damn sense. And I love that the director it'll be in the email. I love that the director pointed this out too, but who the f who the fuck does this? Like, yeah, we have a funeral and we don't bury the body. We have a funeral and then we leave her above ground and say, "Oh, she'll get buried in a few hours."
Yeah.
And then you have these, Barney couple of Barney Fifes come in to grave rob, and they happen to know the grave's there, and they happen to know they didn't put her underground, and nobody's watching. And
That's
and one
totally
thing,
John Russo all written all over it right there with the Return of the Living Dead.
yeah, it's so dumb. And these bumpkins, dude. One thing that was put in that review that I will eventually get to is something I noticed right away. Like, that old man was obviously miscast. Like, he's clearly playing the role of like, or no, the young man. The young man was clearly supposed to be like an older guy, or vice versa, because it doesn't make sense why you have this young guy like being the Harry and the Marv's like this much older man.
Mhm.
It makes no sense. Like, it's
Yeah,
like
it doesn't. Yeah.
this casting is off. Like, it clearly was not supposed to be, It was supposed to either be probably 2 young guys.
Mhm.
That's what I would guess. And I'm like, "Is this guy in the Secret Service? What's with his little earpiece?" So it's like, yeah.
Probably just grabbed a few guys from, like, the local quick shop or something, asked if they wanted to be in a movie.
Blaine says it's shot on film though. It looks good. Okay. It doesn't always mean it's good though. But dude, I'm telling you, legit, I think Haunted Ween looks better than this.
Absolutely.
Haunted Ween has the charm. It's got more going for it, and it was probably a lot cheaper, man. I mean, I know $500,000 is really nothing to the big machine, but you can make something. Dude, the short that I mean, I get it. It's different. We're 20 something years later. We've gone digital, but the short that I just did, it looks so much fucking better than this bullshit. Everything about it's better.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
just, it,
just look at the grave robbers, like, they just throw them a few black shirts and like,
dude.
"Okay, you're grave
They,
robbers, here's some black shirts." It's like,
bro,
throw a
they
ski
left.
mask or something on, man.
They've got bodies sitting above ground for anybody to get. Like,
Yeah,
come, it's like it's like a trick or treat basket. Like, take one, please, just take one. I mean, I don't know if coyotes are strong enough to open a casket, but like, if they are, it makes no damn sense. And in case you didn't know, there are grave robbers are like, "Oh man, we can't live on pawning stuff. There's got to be easier way to live than pawning stuff." I'm like, "Ah, go fucking hook, go get a
yeah,
job." I don't know, like, yeah, don't great. And I love it. The next morning, you're gonna see where the cops like, or no, the whoever heads the graveyard, the gravekeeper, he's like, "Not again." Like, how
yeah,
often does this rinky dink town
and
get
the
grave?
cops like, "You need to shut this place down."
Yeah, it's like, or fucking bury your bodies,
Yeah,
dumbass,
yeah.
or do your job. You're the groundskeeper. Like, what are you doing?
They need
Makes
that
no sense.
Della Morte Della More in there.
Oh, yeah, it was giving me those vibes, like, you need that guy, yeah. Uh, but which, by the way, like, I just recently watched that finally, and I didn't care for it. But I don't wanna get too off the beaten path and talk about that movie.
It's acquired, but I really enjoyed it the second time I watched it.
These guys are gonna get it, we're gonna get a close up, and he's gonna get bit in the neck. Or no, he's gonna get bit in the neck, or where does he get bit?
Yeah, bit in the neck, I think, but I
Okay.
mean, pretty shitty.
'Kay. Oh, wow, he didn't notice that. Yeah, it's stupid. Hey, I get it. You rot and you decay, but why did his bone structure change?
I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even look like the same. It's a totally, completely different bone structure. He's got like a Chad jawline and a handsome Squidward chin and pointy cheekbones and totally different hair. And his hands are all meaty like sausages. Look at that. It doesn't make any friggin' sense, man. All right, so uh, I don't understand. Why is he digging up this body? It's the connect. Why is he connected to this van? Because this van, she's in the van, right? Is this the daughter? Because this is a part of the nepotism. Is it this woman that's the legacy zombie?
I think this might have been one of the yeah,
Yeah,
so this is the sister of the girl from the diner, but
no, I know
also I
that.
think this is one of the kids from
No, no,
his
no. It,
that
but
were sitting in
what?
the barn, right?
Maybe they all are. Maybe it's like that Freddy remake angle, and they all were the kids.
Well, because they showed the flashback of that guy. He was, like,
Yeah,
having a flashback of being in the barn or whatever.
so the girl that's gonna be in the diner, she says later that she was, in the cage too, but it makes sense. Maybe all those people in the van were all the cage kids, and it's totally like, and that would make sense. That would make sense why he was attracted to turning them, because it's like a Nightmare on Elm Street thing. It's a total Nightmare on Elm Street thing. More like the remake, which is gross. Or maybe the remake ripped this off. Wouldn't that be
Oh
something?
god, this, groundskeeper's ridiculous, man.
This needs to be played by Dick Miller. Was he not available? You know what I mean? Doesn't it scream
Yeah, he's
DM
terrible.
there? But what no, I was saying the woman in the coffin, I know who she is, but I think she's the one. She's a legacy zombie. Like her parent, her mom or somebody was a zombie in Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I might maybe it's not her. I think it's her though. Let me hold on, silhouette. The synopsis says the lead zombie dude Abbott was a serial killer rapist. Yeah. It
Yeah.
will get all that expo dump. It's dumb. I feel like that was enough. I feel like turning him into a zombie was weird. Like, it's something else they shoehorned in. It's like,
Well, so
how many?
It's like
things
they
can we
just
throw
shot
in this?
everything and just wrote a, synopsis afterwards. They're just like, "Okay, what can we make this shit into?"
Oh, it's like a potluck, and everybody was
Yeah,
tasked to bring in one thing on set. Let's just like
yeah.
throw it in a blender. Like, oh, you want the poltergeist? You have a poltergeist. You want the Freddy? Ah, we can do it.
We
It's a
got
zombie movie. We'll make a
Nosferatu.
Freddy. Nosferatu, we got it. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got it. But everything goes. Uncle Joe's paying the check. No, let me read this now because the movie's not exactly getting more interesting because we're gonna hit this big lull.
yeah.
Uh,
Just it's going downhill fast now.
oh, we haven't even been introduced. Look, we're 30 minutes into the damn movie. We haven't even met our main protagonist yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? He's because we're not even introduced yet to the main arc. It's 30 minutes in, and we're gonna get this guy. He's gonna come into town, and he's the son of a guy that owns a construction company and a bunch of dealerships, and he's gonna buy the land. He's
yep,
gonna buy the land of the house that's obviously, not good anymore because, for obvious reasons. And he's sent there, I guess, to scout and maybe oversee the construction, I guess.
yep.
It's what it sounds like.
Work with the
And
foreman. Yeah.
yeah, and he has a weird forced love interest. They watch too much Desert Heat, dude. Like,
Mm,
you gotta go. I watched this great movie. You gotta go to the nearest diner and you gotta find this girl named Rhonda. I mean, whatever. We'll change the name. You gotta say she has good pie
yep.
and she's got to fill up your coffee 4 times because it's so funny. They point out that continuity error. I'll read it in the email. Like she fills up his coffee and gives it to him, and then she takes it and it's empty, and she fills it up again and then gives it to him again. She like fills it up 3 fucking times. Like the edit's so weird, dude.
Look at those Spirit Halloween gloves, dude.
I know it's huge. Like his fingers got massive.
Yeah.
They look like Hulk hands.
Mhm.
Jeez Louise, look at that guy. Is that if I wish that's the
Terrible
face
acting.
maybe that
Oh,
it's bad, dude. It's real bad. If this movie, I'm shocked that this movie cost half mil. If you told me this movie cost 50,000, I would be more forgiving. Like, all
I
right,
think
well,
it costs about 10 grand.
it cost, but I'm saying I'd be more forgiving. The fact that it cost $500,000 in, well, let me see what $500,000 was in today's money. Can I bust out the old
Yeah, do it.
inflation calculator? Let's see what we could have done better with that money. So let me see. $500,000, 2020, sorry, 2001 money today. Okay. Oh, it's not really?
Hmm.
I guess it's not as much as I thought. It would be worth $888,000 today. I
Mm,
I would have aimed higher, but still, man,
still.
that could buy like a trailer today in
Yeah.
our economy, right? But especially we're in the age of digital and stuff, dude. You could make such a good looking movie for wasn't like Blue Ruin? Wasn't Blue Ruin famously like 50 grand?
Yeah, it was pretty
So
cheap.
it's something ridiculous because a movie like Blue Ruin, which I think is amazing. I love Blue Ruin. It just goes to show that you don't have to have names to make a movie look good. You just got to have talent. You got to be clever. You got to have, a steady hand on that camera. Just skill. Skill will trump budget any day of the week. And
I
I
think
guess
this
with 50
actor's
grand,
horrible. I don't know why they
and
cast him.
another thing too, another thing that they sort of like shoehorned in here too is a little bit of sleepaway camp or psycho depending on how you want to angle it, but they have that the exposition makes no sense. It's like, I get it, he was like a Freddy Krueger, let's stick with that.
Mhm.
No, he had a mother that was the source that dressed him up as a girl, and he went by Alberta or something, I don't know, and she raised him as a girl, and then that made him want to kidnap girls. Like, all right, like this guy's got so many complexes, I can't keep up with
And he
what is he.
peeps out the window like Norma Bates.
It's
Peeps
like,
out the
what is,
bar.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. This guy is so unlikable. Like, I literally want to hit him.
Yeah.
I want to fucking hit him. And if you happen to be watching this out of curiosity, maybe the actor's in this chat, right? Maybe he could be. He might get curious. He's probably on his lunch break from whatever dealership he's working at. He could probably get curious and be like, "Hey, I wonder what's up with Children of the Living Dead. I wonder if anybody's saying anything about
I
it." 20 years
I'd be
later.
pretty happy with this though if I was in this film because I would pimp this shit out as much as
Big sad, Riverman. Big
yes, I
sad.
would.
But anyway, it's nothing against this guy. So when I say that, he might be dude, I would be shocked. First of all, if the director was commenting on IMDb reviews,
Mhm.
he might be
How
watching
how
this.
old were those comments, though?
I
You think
couldn't
he
tell
ever
you.
got over it, or if he's still, like, looking up old
He
I or new IMDb
this guy's head's barely going over the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on? Um, I don't know, but I can imagine some people getting curious that are, from a film like this, and if anybody that's part of this film happens to be watching this commentary at any point in time, I don't care if it's 5 years from now, it's not personal. Like, we're just kinda, like, taking the piss because we all dude, I get it. I get it, like, things with a film, they're a concoction of many moving parts, and, like, you guys were just young actor you can't blame the fucking non-SAG actors from Pennsylvania taking the job. Like, "Oh, yeah, movie with Tom Savini, oh,
They
yeah,
need
I'll
to
do it."
they need to send me some cash app for, I mean, I saved up, I was bagging groceries for 7 hours just to buy this stupid movie.
Gamer guy, that's actually a good point. I've thought about that. You could do a whole month dedicated to all the crappy remake sequels to Romero flicks, like Night of the Living Dead 3D remake with Sid Haig. I think we have to get all those. I think that'd be a great idea,
Yeah.
actually. I don't wanna do movies like this every week because 'cause I'll just eat a bullet.
No, 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 no.
But I feel like this is our we gotta hit our, like, quarterly bad movie quota because there's value to it.
Mhm. I do wanna do Contagion, like somebody said
Mm.
earlier, 'cause it's
Oh, Alberta's his mom. What did she call him growing up? I got the name mixed up. I don't know, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's totally stupid. But let me I want can I read this email real quick?
Yeah, I'm dying to hear it, man.
I know I keep starting it and not finishing it. All right, so this is the review posted on IMDb from the guy from Homepage of the Dead. Again, his name is Travis Stoffs. He goes on to write, "You cannot comprehend how bad this film is. There is not a single facet of this film that is good or even decent. I had low expectations for this film, but this sunk even lower than I could have ever thought. It looked like the thing was shot on a camcorder. There was all there was all of one lens used for the entire film, which gave it that nice camcorder feel. You can see the same background depth in every shot because of this. Usually you won't notice the background revealed to you in a film, but you will if there's no change at all over every single shot. The lighting wasn't dramatic at all, and it looked like a shot on film, like at home, a home film more than a flick. It didn't even try to be scary. Well, it did, but it was so overtly done that it made you laugh more than quiver. They relied on the sunlight too much in this film and didn't attempt to complement it with the outside light at all. Then at night with outside lighting, sorry. Then at night in the cemetery and the house settings, they are obviously so artificially lit, and you can even see the lights, even though it's supposed to be out in the country. The plot makes no sense at all. Karen Wolf made no attempt to explain why there's some typos in here, so you just got to bear with me. Why the lead zombie abducted these kids and kept them alive. They are just sitting there when found as if they're
Mhm.
just watching TV. She obviously never even attended a funeral in her life or would know that they bury people right after the funeral, not hours later. And then some grave robbers show up. Somehow they knew the caskets would still be out of the ground, and one gets killed. The other is obviously miscast as an old man. I'm going to break this up a little bit. I'll read a little bit more. Similarly, the dialogue from these characters is mostly all small talk, and you could cut half of it and never even notice. The characterization isn't there except for two characters who contrast from the rest of the others. But the acting manages to botch up that distinguishing. The sound is horrid. It's like they recorded on location and added the dialogue later. I mean, that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
The lips often never move, but people are talking. If the lips are moving, they aren't moving at the same speed as the voice. The voices don't fit the facial expressions or have any real emotion to them. The zombies make groaning noises in the same way. Some have their mouths open, some don't, and it's very obvious. The dialogue doesn't seem to come from any channel, and I wonder if it was recorded in monotone and from equal distance from the microphone for every single character. I'm almost sure of it. I'm going to continue here in a second. Where are we at in this movie? Okay, so
Yeah.
hey, this because there's going to be a response from the director on everything he touches on. So
Oh,
just
okay.
yeah, it's
This
pretty
is good
meaty.
stuff, man. I love this.
So it's a year later. So this grave robber now, like, what, owns a motel? What does he
Yep,
own?
owns a
What's
motel.
so did he like grave rob enough to put a down payment on a hotel?
I don't know. I mean,
Why was he grave
maybe
robbing?
grave robbing was his day job or his, night job, and then day job is running a motel. I
Yeah.
mean, they gotta throw the Psycho thing in there again, right?
I love how, I don't know why it just looks so shitty, like, when they do we already see, like, him talking to his dad? Like, the businessman? Like, the
Yeah,
overdubbing
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
the overdubbing in that boardroom is so weird. It almost insinuates, like, "Oh, is this gonna be a subplot? Is there something nefarious going on here?" Because in Poltergeist, it was nefarious, it was greed, they moved the bot but, like, it never goes anywhere. It's just like they're like this evil conglomerate, but no, they're just normal.
and they hired the foreman that's a ex-con or something like that.
I feel conned.
Yeah, pretty
That Todd
much.
should feel conned. You spent probably $25 on this
Yeah,
back in the day.
back in 2000, 2001.
This guy, you guys are not gonna know, but I sent a picture of this guy to my brother because he looks just like this old neighbor of mine who lives in the area still, and he's
Yeah.
good friends with my brother. Dude, spitting image, but like a younger
He has a
version.
No Man shirt on, you see that?
Uh
Yeah, he had a, Al Bundy No Man shirt on.
Oh, it was a no ma'am?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's funny.
So, where was the shot? It was all in Pennsylvania. I don't know why they felt like they had to keep it consistent with Night of the Living Dead, or was it for other purposes? Was there tax purposes involved, or
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, they probably thought it should have been shot there because All Night of the Living Dead shit is.
I mean, this is the official sequel to Return of the Living Dead after all. I'm wearing my hat in honor of, because we're watching the official sequel to this movie. This is the better movie, obviously. So let me Dime Store John Stamos gamer guy? Kinda, but if you knew this guy I was talking about, he looks so much like this guy, and he looks exactly like true to age, like the age he would have been 20 something years ago. I looked at the credits, I'm like, my God, did he used to live in Pennsylvania? And was that guy that I know in a movie? Because it looks just
Mm,
like him. And it wasn't. But it's uncanny, man. It's uncanny. But let me continue this email. It's gonna get pretty juicy
yeah.
here. All right. So the direction was equally bad. Oh, shots fired. There were close-ups where more distant shots could have been used because the close-up seemed forced and weak for the dialogue given. Then there are long shots that need to be drastically magnified to close-ups in order to give it more dramatic feeling. The way that we see the lead zombie as a zombie for the first time is like this. It's a full body shot, and we can see all of this area surrounding him. And the guy doesn't seem scary at all, even though his makeup implies we are to think that way about him, that he's scary. The photography complemented the direction is ineptitude, and it's ineptitude. Okay, so it's just as bad. The opening shots are tinted blue for some unknown reason, and it's
Mm,
very blatant and unfitting of the time of day it was shot. A yellow, orange, or red tint would have looked better, especially for illuminating the zombies' faces in the sunlight. The blue tint better have some homage to Dawn of the Dead's blue faced zombies, but I doubt it. Even if it was, it is bad filmmaking. There should have been darker, less focal depth lenses used to make the lighting more dramatic in many, many, many scenes indoors. You would never know it was supposed to be in a horror film in this regard in a whole lot of shots. That is a good point
yeah.
because it's not shot like a horror film. It could be anything. This could be an episode of Chips. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like there's they're not even like using Dutch angles or any
The
techniques.
worst
There's
in a student film.
yeah, it's just it's not shot like any particular kind of thing. Think about it. An action movie is very much like an action movie. Even if you have a scene that's pretty generic, you tend to know it's an action. I just watched Commando with the lady last night. She had never seen it. You know Commando is an action movie, even when Arnold Schwarzenegger is just carrying a log at his house because you got a big muscle bound asshole carrying a giant fucking log.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, and that's a good point. This doesn't seem like anything. Looks like an episode of the '90s USA Network show for Swamp Thing. That was a terrible show. I remember
I
that.
never saw that.
Uh, hey, what's up? Oh wait, sorry. What? Yeah, what's up, Ishmael? How you doing, brother?
Ish.
Thanks for joining us. Let's see. I think the guy in the button up is Lori Cardile's dad, Chili Billy.
Oh, okay.
Chili Billy. Who's that? That's a cool
Lori
name.
Goodell from Day of the Dead.
But Chili Billy though. What's that's a All right, so let me continue. The editing and pacing of the scenes was bland. We get a little bit of drama with the music for one actual scene when the main character is scoping out his house, but the scene just but the scene just up and ends abruptly, leaving the viewer to wonder, what was it? Was that it? There's a shot where the lead zombie bites into the neck of a guy in one shot when the lead character talks to his love interest while ordering. Hold on. I skipped a sentence. There's, there's, yeah, yeah. Sorry. There's a there's one shot in a close up where a guy gets bit in the neck, and then it cuts to another shot for some unknown reason, and the guy's neck is still immaculate. So that's down to like continuity, right?
Yeah.
And the director will say they had no script supervisor, so that totally seems on brand with the film. And he goes,
Oh, this is
and,
ridiculous.
"What here?
Yeah.
Oh, that stupid laugh, dude!" Ho, 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 ho. And it's just like ethereal. It's so
Terrible.
dumb. He says, where we got here? Yeah, the when the lead character talks to his love interest while ordering coffee, she fills up his cup, then takes it away, refills it again, wipes the bottom of the saucer, and refills it again before he even takes a sip. The acting looks like they put an ad in the paper and accepted all non-SAG eligible actors for parts without even giving them a screen test, except for Tom Savini, of course, who even can't overcome bad script and direction to make his character seem cool. Just a one-liner spewing macho idiot. It speaks volumes that they hired Bill Heinzman's daughter for one of the more prominent zombie parts. It backs my theory up. Like I've put in here several times, you usually don't notice when things are done correctly, i.e., you don't go, that shot had great lighting, but you sure as heck notice when they go awry in a film. And they go awry in every scene and almost every shot. If they made a manual for showing how not to make a film, they would say, watch Children of the Living Dead. So that's the end of the review. I'll get to the rebuttal in a
Yeah.
few, but that's actually really true, right? Because some of the greatest people in film, great cinematographers, they'll say, if you're doing your job right, you don't want somebody to go, "Whoa, this is gorgeous." You don't want them to be distracted by how beautiful the cinematography is. You don't want them to think you want to be just so enthralled in the
Mhm.
world, right? So when something is really bad, you notice it, but I think when something is really amazing, you don't. You might think about it after, I think, right? I imagine if you saw The Shining for the first time, like whenever we all saw The Shining for the first time, you were just so enraptured by the story, and now it's okay to kinda go back and look at stills and, like,
Oh, yeah, no, it was beautiful, yeah.
every shot in The Shining is an actual is a painting, it's a
Yeah.
masterpiece, but if you were watching Shining for the first time as a kid or even in the theater, that's not what you were focusing on.
Yeah, it would take you out of it.
You
Yeah.
were so you don't yeah, it's not about how the shot is set up of the elevator and the blood and the twins. You're too busy being freaked out by the twins and stuff like that to really be paying that much attention. Dr. Dr. Diggles, Chili Billy was like a local TV horror host around Pittsburgh. Okay,
Mm.
all right, so that seems fitting. Welcome
Kelly, what's
aboard.
going on?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if those emojis are worthy of this film because you have way too many zombies there. You gave us like 9 zombie emojis, and I think there's like 5. I don't know, and 2 brains. No, but welcome. Let's see. Dr. Kills. Yep, he's the reporter talking about the rednecks at night. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
fake.
this where she fills the coffee cup? Is it
Yeah,
continuity error?
yeah. That would have
Okay.
been it. I think I missed it though. What is he driving a Pontiac Firebird? What is that?
Ye Grand Am, I think, 'cause I always wanted
Oh,
one of
granted.
those.
That's what everybody had, like, it just reminds me of
Yeah,
high school. Looking at that
yeah.
car, it's 2001, dude, like, yeah,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like
Everybody had those.
they were everywhere, man, and
Yeah.
do they still make them?
I don't think Pontiac's around anymore.
So here we go, let's look for these inconsistencies. This guy's got, like, the charisma of a fucking block of wood. She's actually not bad looking, though. She's got, like, a farmer's daughter look about her. It's good pie. It literally is framed up just like that scene.
Yeah. You probably watched Desert Heat. Just do
What
the scene.
what year is Desert Heat?
95, I
99?
think.
No, that was when Van Damme was in his
Oh,
prime doing hard.
she filled it up there.
Yeah, okay. There's a good pie. Let's see if there's even any cutaways or if it's just the way the scene was shot for no damn reason. Okay. I'm waiting for the cut. Okay, there we go. There's the cut. And she's gonna take it, right? She's laying down the cutlery.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Take the damn mug. Give me what I came for. Now she takes the mug and she replaces it. Why? Yeah, exactly. And then now she's back.
What?
Yeah, that's such a jarring cut. It makes no sense.
And the cup's still sitting there in the
Yeah.
frame. It's yeah. the full cup.
Yeah, so, you'll learn with the response from the director, they really pieced this shit together in the editing room and botched it, right? Let's see here, Kelly, I'm good, I'm just a bit sad today because I lost my dog due to bone cancer
Oh,
in
I'm
old
sorry
age.
about that.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
my dog's getting up there too, so we're trying to keep her on as long as possible. It's just she has problems with that too, arthritis and all that, so
Man, I never
it's
used to
tough.
be a dog guy until I had a dog, and my dog, Ozzy, is, 4.5, and there's something about a dog hitting 4 where I start thinking about the end, even though I'm nowhere near it, like,
Or oh, you got plenty of time, man.
well, he's a little dog, they'll live 20 years, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But still, it's just the fact that, like, okay, he's definitely not a puppy, he's not a spring chicken anymore, he's almost my age, like, in dog years, and I don't know, man. I have those dreams all the time where like my dog died and I wake up really sad, like, oh, and I hug him. Like, come here. I let my dog lay in my bed, dude. It sleeps in my bed. He's a people now.
I would. I'd let my dog sleep in my bed again, but she can't jump up on the bed because she can't jump. So
Your dog sheds a lot, like a
yeah,
lot.
I mean, a lab, yeah.
Ozzy doesn't. My dog is a Maltese. He doesn't shed at all. If he shed, it might be a different story. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that. That's really sad.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead. You guys want to hear his response, the director?
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is a humbling feeling. This is interesting. You never expect for like a director or somebody part of the film to actually read your like fan review. And this happened to me one time. I remember Mac tagged me in some like shill Power Ranger post about some like C grade Power Ranger like shilling for money at like some convention. And it was just sad. And I thought he just sent me a random post and he tagged me and I commented on it talking shit on him. But it turned out it was the actor's post.
Oh.
And I didn't even realize it, and then I got an alert saying he responded, and he was fucking just, like, fully like, was like, "Yeah, you try and fucking make a buck," or like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry. Like, do what you grift all you gotta grift. I'm not whatever, man." I mean, it's like but I was it was really funny. Anyway, alright, so, yeah, he got a response from Tor Ramsey, right? That's his name?
Yeah.
He goes alright, I guess his screen name was Smashismo. He goes, "Dear Smashismo, you filthy scum-sucking bastard. I read your interview on the IMDb of my masterpiece, Children of the Living Dead, and I'm writing to let you know you can kiss my ass. I know your way home from work, bub, and myself and the Abbott Hayes zombie will be paying a not so pleasant visit home sometime soon. I'm serious. You and your pole smokers who totally missed the point of my highly sensitive moving piece are going to pay. If you knew the slightest thing about film, you'd see the correlations with Bergman's Seventh Seal, Grim Reaper, and Abbott Hayes, not to mention the homage to D.W. Griffith's Intolerance and Keaton's Three Ages and the alternating storylines that jump ahead. Of course, I'm kidding, you asshole. Don't get so excited.
Oh,
So
man.
he's
You
not
had
being
me
an ass.
me going there for a second.
Yeah, it's funny, but no, he goes, he's totally like cool. He goes, he goes, so where he goes,
Tour?
actually, yeah, he goes, actually, I am writing you to offer my sincerest apologies for the 90 minutes of your life wasted watching the movie Children of the Living Dead. I
Thank
read
you.
your review.
That's
Yeah.
all we wanted.
Where's my apology? He's not apologizing to us. He still has to get to every one of us.
And cash at me for 25 bucks.
He goes, I read your review on the internet and would like to thank you for understanding its worthlessness. He says, "You see, I did in fact direct Children of the Living Dead, and you know what? It really does suck. So you're a filmmaker. Quick, find another profession that causes less stress, like painting the tops of radio towers. But if you insist, perhaps you'd like to know some of the circumstances behind the amazing Children of the Living Dead. Let me address a few specific areas you mentioned. Number one, we had two lenses, a 25 250 and 18 millimeter.
Mhm.
Later, when I gently requested two more primes, a 50 and a 35, I was blamed for jacking up the budget with unreasonable demands. What the fuck? Number two, the choice of shots isn't poor as so much the choice the editor who re-edited made in choosing the shots. There's more to work with. He just didn't. See below. Number three, the robotic delivery of the lines was due mainly to the fact that all the dialogue was looped needlessly, and I was not invited to the looping sessions.
Mm.
Um, the overdubs. The reason he said number four, the reason the Savini stuff works better than the rest is that once Savini's stuff was shot, was when Karen's lunacy binge kicked in full throttle.
Mm.
Number 5. Among the highlights of my brilliant cinematography team was the 2 most expensive days of production when they loaded 5 rolls of film backwards and shot it without realizing it, ruining presage footage. Can you imagine that?
That makes this movie even better.
Like 2 days worth, dude, and just fucking are they not checking the dailies? Like, "Oh, shit, we're not getting any of this."
Oh my god.
How do you go through 5 rolls of film, dude, without realizing it?
That's expensive day there, man.
Yeah, and so there's just missing footage you can't get back to. And he goes, "Seriously, what can I tell you? But the executive producer of Halloween and Nightmare on Elm Street teamed up with the co-author of the original Night of the Living Dead to do what was described to me as the sequel to Night of the Living Dead on the same level as Return of the Living Dead. Hell, who wouldn't have jumped at that chance?" So you kind of are starting to empathize with him a little bit. We're not done yet, but we're starting to empathize with him. He just took
Yeah,
the job.
yeah.
He's like, it had Russo attached, it had Wolf attached,
Yeah,
these big names,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
it was sold to him on a certain budget, and it was gonna be like Return of the Living Dead, it was gonna honor this movie, and it just goes fucking sideways.
Mhm.
Anyway, I feel like I need a drink, dude.
I'm getting into it now.
Ah, all right. All right. So, unfortunately, I was to find that if it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, and walks like a duck, it ain't always a duck. I was to find out later that the only connection this thing had to Romero's great trilogy was John Russo and the words Living Dead. The
Mhm.
executive producer's daughter, Kelly Lee Wolf, wrote a script so horribly bad, incompetent, that nearly a dozen writers and directors had walked off the project due to her obsessiveness over no changes being made to her script, in addition to being an untalented, inexperienced, uninformed, excuse me while I get my other list of adjectives, spoiled, immature, arrogant hack.
Mm.
Damn, not mincing any words.
Yeah.
Karen had never seen Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead or even modern horror films like Scream. In
Mm.
fact, she thought zombie movies and Fangoria fans were stupid and wouldn't stoop to that level. So she created a level all of her own to stoop to. Isn't that weird? The producer of The Howling and Lawnmower Man had gotten me on this thing, and he immediately began pleading with me to leave the project. Everyone that got within a 3-mile radius of this unreadable abomination told Karen her script, to use Harry Knowles' words, quote, "sucked a big poodle turd." She refused to listen, threatening to fire anyone who questioned her script.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, gamer guy. Fucking Karens. That's
Yeah,
funny. It's like fucking I'm gonna
yeah,
leave that up. So man, my voice. But yeah, dude, like you can already kind of tell like what this guy I before I continue, I even before I made a film, I already empathize with filmmakers because I understand like through knowing filmmakers and I've known people like sideways and adjacently and parallel. I've seen what it's like and people are just so quick to bag on a movie and it really is the work of a bunch of different moving parts and people. When a movie's bad, I don't think a director really set out to make a bad movie. It's usually because a lot of things went wrong that they didn't intend to go wrong. And it's not always the people that is selling the movie's fault, which, a lot of times it's the actors that take the heat because most casual people, they don't really know the directors, right? It's if a Brad Pitt movie bombs, oh, Brad Pitt, that movie sucked. Yeah, it sucked. It's not really Brad Pitt's fault either, right?
yeah, yeah,
But, they kind of fall on the sword. But yeah, and directors do too, but directors are they should go down with the ship. Their fault or not, they are the ones that hold all the weight. And but dude, like so much happens along the way. And I know this from experience too. And sometimes you gotta juke and get around stuff. And I don't know if I don't know how often the product, once it's all said and done, is really 100% what you set out to do.
yeah,
Sometimes it's something else, like there's happy accidents along the way. You gotta roll with the punches on certain things, and sometimes it turns into something great. Sometimes there's great movies with flaws in them, right? That you can tell, and sometimes it's part of the charm. But oh, anyway,
I
let's see.
I would love to get Karen and Tor on the show just to hash it out.
Oh yeah, dude, we can be like Maury Povich. We could do
Yeah,
Jerry Springer, dude.
that'd be perfect.
At least it got finished and released. No, exactly, Blaine, 100%. So that's also the appreciation that I have for filmmakers is most films don't get finished and released. I think if you actually go the distance and a project sees the light of day, you've already kind of beat the odds, and that should be applauded. So yeah, man, I empathize with the director for sure because it's a lot to talk a big game. Most people don't even actually make good on something. So it's a whole nother ball game to actually do it the way you wanted it to be done. So lots of respect. I want to talk to this movie's manager. Yeah, Dr. Giggles. They're like, oh, we're so sorry about your experience. Tell you what, we're going to give you one complimentary free viewing of Children of the Living Dead. How about that? Like, no, it's all right.
The funny thing is, on Facebook, about 2 months ago, John Russo was selling off some props from Children of the Living Dead. I was thinking about buying one of them.
Really.
Yeah. I think it was like a fake gun or something like that. It was like a fake something,
Does this guy
but
have like a meth addict addiction? Why is this guy like just milk everything like this?
I don't
Kelly wants to tell us a pirate joke. Kelly, tell us the best pirate joke in the world. Is it rated R? Is it rated R? Is that the joke? If I stepped on your joke, I'm sorry. That was probably it. Tell me, tell me a pirate joke.
You
um,
wanna know the joke I tell my wife all the time, and
what's that?
she's so fucking annoyed by it, but I tell it
I
to her all the
I
time.
love dad jokes. What is it?
Um, what did the Pink Panther say to the ant?
Huh?
Did ant, did ant, did ant, did ant, did ant.
Oh, come on. Dead ant. Dead ant. That's like that almost sounds like a Jim Carrey thing.
That's
Dead ant,
from
dead ant.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, is that okay? I haven't seen
Yeah,
that in a
yeah,
minute.
it's so stupid, dude, but
Okay, well,
I tell her that all the time.
Kelly says, "Why couldn't the captain say the alphabet? Why couldn't he say the alphabet?
Can you say is ours?
All he could say was R, probably.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's probably more it.
yeah.
Okay, so like really quick, back to the film before we continue with the email. Daddy came to play. Daddy came to check out what's going on with his investment, right? He's coming to the house and he's gonna get it from somebody. I think
That's
he
a
gets
good
eaten.
that's a good one, Kelly. I like that.
Oh, see, I didn't see that's not where I thought I was gonna go. He was always lost at sea.
I'll
That's
tell
more
my
clever.
I'll tell my old lady that one.
How much does corn sell? Wait, how much does corn sell on pirate ships? I don't Look, that actually resembles a horror movie. That one
Yeah.
shot, like, in the fog, and all it looks like Night of the Living Dead. That actually kinda looks like who is this random kid right here? Is he just like an under who is this guy? He kept popping up, and I don't really know who he
He's
is.
on the construction crew.
He's like, "What I want your opinion, I'll ask for it."
He's the apprentice, one of the apprentices.
Anyway, they're gonna get locked in the house, and we kinda have this whole thing. Look, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's concert kids. They're back, and it's been a whole year, and nobody noticed that their graves were robbed. Nobody found the bodies, even though they're just like wandering around. It just blows me away. Like the logic of this film is just non-existent.
It's terrible.
And they're not swarmed, just run away. He's like, "You kids are trespassing." It's stupid.
"You
It's
punks
dumb.
can't chase me off."
Run away. Let me go ahead. Hold on. I'm gonna continue. I gotta get through. Yeah, look at this. Ho, 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 ho. Makes no sense. He's like the Pied Piper, I guess. Why are they all like following him? All right, so continuing. Karen conned and manipulated her aging father into greenlighting her pathetic script. Then Joe let Karen go out to Pittsburgh to supervise. In her case, this meant threatening to fire anyone who changed so much as a word of her script. No shit. We were running interference on Karen sneaking around to do the gags with Savini. When actors told me the lines made no sense and wanted to work through the scene, Karen wouldn't allow changes to be made. As for Russo, I was surprised to find him not quite the idiot internet sites make him out to be. No- And certainly doesn't deserve to be fed to one of his own zombies, as the prevailing winds usually concur. Interesting. He's basically a decent guy who should be allowed nowhere near a movie set. Also interesting.
Hmm.
Sadly, I must confess, his reputation as a hack is well deserved. Okay, a bit of a backhanded compliment, I see.
Oh, about
He's,
John Russo?
yeah, he's talking about John Russo.
He's a hack. Okay.
He just went on talking about how, like, he's not the idiot people make him out to be, but he shouldn't be. He's a nice guy, but he's a fucking hack, and he shouldn't be anywhere near a set. Interesting.
Well, and
Okay.
yeah, I've kinda heard that before.
All right. So again, his reputation as a hack is well deserved. He insisted I use his DP, a 63-year-old farmer named Bill Heinzman, who played the cemetery zombie in
Oh,
the original Night.
yeah.
Bill's previous work was
Flesh eater.
unwatchable garbage, like Flesh Eater and
I
Santa
like
Claus.
Flesh Eater, man.
You like Flesh Eater?
Yeah, I bought the 4K. I like Flesh Eater,
All righty.
but
Well,
it's not great, but no, that would be one to do, so
we should do okay. We should do Flesh Eater sometime. Not next week. Bill's previous work was unwatchable garbage like Flesh Eater and Santa Claus. You ever seen that?
no, I don't think so.
And though Wolf's knew Heinzman's work, they told me I had to use him anyway due to Russo. So he got strong armed by the producer too. I also had to use Russo's pal Bob Michelucci as my art director, though. I'd use him as my art director, even though he had never set foot on a movie set.
Huh.
That's wild. And
Yeah.
his experience was limited to doing sets for softcore porno mag called Scream Queens. I can't tell if that's a straight or a queer magazine.
I don't think I've heard of Scream Queens. That was an '80s
Interesting.
mag.
Okay.
Linnea
Russo.
Quigley was on that, I think,
Oh,
but
was she? Okay, so it was how it sounds. My bad. Russo also insisted on shooting without an on-set art department, no assistant directors, no script supervisors, obviously, no wardrobe department, and no makeup department. Also, no production manager. Wow. Basically, we had a 9-man crew made up of friends of Russo. Also, Russo said we could not afford a generator or anything stronger than a 4K. So that's wild to me. I don't know how they even got this made. Like, with dude, he had no AD, he had no production manager. Who was it? Must have been like the Karen chick. Like, nobody was like wrangling people, and you could tell there's no makeup on this fucking movie. It looks like, look at this guy in the mirror, dude.
yeah,
It looks so stupid. Like, who's directing him?
it's like Ben Shapiro,
Like,
dude.
hey, it would be cool if you go in the mirror and you get ready for a date and you do that thing where people like brush their eyebrows, even though people don't do that, and then you give yourself a wink at a point. It's so dumb. Like, it makes me really, really hate these people. But the fact that, yeah, no production manager blows me away, man. And to me, that's the thing that'll instantly make your movie look really cheap. That is so avoidable. Is no makeup.
Well, he's a writer, he's not really, I mean, was he a producer on a lot of these films, Russo?
Yeah, he's the producer.
I know,
Yeah.
but, I mean, how many other films did he produce?
But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about, like, the lack of budget, that they didn't even have, like, the simplest things. They didn't even wanna pay for makeup or wardrobe or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It blows me away, but anyway, I mean, somebody did the effects. Somebody did that kinda makeup, right? Because we got some shitty zombies.
Savini probably didn't touch it.
No, he did stunt coordinating.
Uh,
Yeah. Which I wonder what his paycheck was, because he's just a paycheck guy, right?
he just came in for a day probably, and
And he'll get into Savini.
oh, really? Okay.
Mhm. Alright, so he goes on to say, "I didn't shoot stuff this amateurish in film school. Here's the clincher. The budget for this thing was $500,000. Lunch money by Hollywood standards. But my first film was $200,000. And when you get out of LA, it's possible to get at least movie of the week type quality and production value for that type of money. But not if the producers scoop $120,000 off the top for their pockets. And not if the producer, Russo, pays his friends ridiculously high salaries. I will always maintain that a lack of money is no excuse for poor production value. Deals can be made, favors called in, and if not, then you can get creative with the lighting style and create your own scheme. In any event, $500,000 is plenty of money to pull in a good looking movie. It's like, though I had an Emmy award winning DP who worked for MTV ready to come on board at half his usual rate. They made me hire Heinzman, who made almost 4 times what that guy would have cost,
Oh, Jesus.
who didn't know what the fuck he was doing, basically. Isn't that crazy? So
That is.
this is just one of those situations where you're asking yourself, like he's a victim of budget, like he just had no tools, and I'm asking myself, which he'll answer, why is he doing this? Why is he staying on this then? But he'll get into that. He says, next up was they wouldn't let me do it SAG or even use uh, or even using out of actors from LA. So we cast using local actors from Pittsburgh, except for Barrett Warland, who is Karen's pet project from LA. That's the zombie, the
Oh,
Joe
okay.
Cash
Yeah.
inside joke. Jamie was a non-SAG actress I had worked with before in my first film. In any event, after 5 days of auditions, it became obvious I had little to work with. Okay, here's where we get into Savini, which is going to kind of go against our stories. It makes us feel like the villain here because he likes Savini.
Hmm.
I feel like the villain half the time, man. It's like every time I hear somebody say how nice Robert Englund was, but that's not the experience we had. And I will always say that people have bad days, and I'm just saying I just happen to have had a couple of bad experiences. I get all the bad experiences. I'm not saying they don't have good days. I'm sure if you're slipping Tom Savini at 20 and you got a huge rack, he's really nice.
Yeah. You
You
know,
know,
and I think they actually talked to him to try to clean his act up because they told him he was losing money, but
because he's a sleazeball.
he's probably feeling the pinch now. He's been to
Why
so
was
many
he?
cons.
Oh, what do you mean? So ease up on going to cons?
No, ease up on the fans for being a dick.
Yeah, it's just like it's so ridiculous. Like you're there for a reason. He's there to get laid.
Probably.
He's a rock star on the road. He's like he half the fun of going on the road is all the trim.
Yeah.
It's all
All
the
the
gash,
groupies,
right?
yeah.
And dude, I mean, like that's you think heavy metal fan or groupies are bad these days? Think about con groupies.
Oh, yeah,
More
you
like
could sit
more
in
like
a hotel
guppies,
room and
dude.
watch Theater Bazaar, and
Guppies,
people
dude.
just swallow you, dude.
Yeah, I bet he got swallowed
Oh,
every night, every town,
bravo.
dude.
Bravo.
Bravo, Tom. Amazing. Yeah, I bet he swallowed him for sure. He would. Anyway, Savini, right? Savini was great to work with, and I came up with all those gags he did outside. This is why we can't totally forgive him.
No.
Because so
Those
anyway,
gags?
yeah, great gags.
Yeah, he
While he
must have watched Dusk Till Dawn before he
yeah, look,
wrote those
he
gags.
says I came up with the gags he did outside while Savini came up with the ones in the barn. All right. I wanted to do much more, but my job came in jeopardy when I was accused of allowing Tom Savini to take over the movie. Later, Joe Wolf found out what a name Savini is and said he made a big mistake not building the movie around him. How are you working with Russo and that doesn't translate? How
Yeah.
the Savini connection?
Well, and Savini did Night of the Living Dead 90. He was the
Yeah,
director, so how did they not see
there's
that?
and to my knowledge, he was supposed to do the original Night, but he was in Vietnam, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, he was
yeah,
supposed to be a part of it.
I don't know how that just shows you how out of the loop the Joe Wolf guy is, right? Like he's just like, yes, like he's got a spoiled brat daughter that wants to make movies. Sure, yes, sure, honey, whatever. Here's a $500,000. Go blow your nose on it, make whatever piece of shit you want.
Yeah.
Anyway, he said Savini saw the ordeal that I was going through and used to come by my room and blow me. I'm just kidding. That's not what it says. He used to come by my room to make sure I was surviving. He was very supportive and told me these guys didn't deserve the job I was giving them. That is very
Hmm.
supportive. I wish I knew
Yeah.
that, Savini.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a
Sounds
nice
like a good
guy.
guy.
Sounds like a great guy.
Mhm.
All right.
Maybe
He
I'll get
says,
him to sign my Children of the Living Dead poster now, Tom Savini.
yeah, fucking asshole. Make fun of my handicapped mom, will you? You're a great dude.
Mhm.
She wasn't handicapped then. Still doesn't make it right. All right. So regarding the final cut of the film, this is interesting. I turned in a director's cut, which I felt worked on some level, and that at least wouldn't be an embarrassment to anyone whose name was involved. Because once again, one thing he doesn't talk about here is I'm telling you, Alan Holsworth, it's never brought up.
Yeah.
I would like to know where these tracks came from. Like, did he? I failed because he's not. His name is scrubbed online from it. I don't. I fail to believe that he actually had this in his studio and he was scoring it.
Hell
I feel
no,
like
this
I
is
feel
just
like
throwaway tracks,
he
probably.
got B tracks and they
Yeah,
just got they'd say here delegate them wherever you want. I think he just bought scraps.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's bullets away. So I emphasized the action scenes and whittled the long dialogue driven scenes down to a bare minimum. I still think it was a lousy movie, don't get me wrong, but it had a little something going for it as I cut around some of the bad performances. He says in parentheses, and this is very, very true. The saying goes that performances are made in the editing room. Well, poorly edited films performances. What sorry, well, poorly edited performances are also. That is the saying, right? The performances come in the editing room. All right. So yeah, the editor is extremely important. Joe Wolf told me he thought we had a winner in the film with the cut that I turned in. And others who saw the cut said they thought it worked as a zombie movie. What happened next was truly mind boggling. Karen Wolf fired everyone in Pittsburgh, shut the door on yours truly, and hired a new editor, supervised the edit, then brought in all the actors and replaced the dialogue in nearly every scene. In
Huh.
her re edit, she put back in all the long droning scenes of dialogue, then added back in dialogue of hers that I changed. I was not present at the looping sessions. That's one reason for the robotic delivery of the actors. So, something else I'll say I mean, Savini, he makes it sound like Savini was in on it. Like, yeah, this is a piece of shit. Sorry, you're dealing with this kid, but he had
He's
to have been
he
contractually
still
obligated
went
to
back and actually
and
did the
did the
yeah,
overdubs. And
overdub.
his shit looks like Popeye. Like he just seems like Popeye. It's like, oh, come on, it's like it's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
But let me give my throat a rest. What do you think so far? Where are we at in this movie? Go ahead and say. I got. I need a drink,
Oh,
man.
it looks like all the rednecks are coming to the hotel, so they're gonna what? We're gonna throw some dynamite or something coming up.
Yeah, these all look like UNO students,
Yeah.
redneck corn huskers, dude. Oh, all right. So Gushido, what? That's a cool what's that all about? Gushido says, "I fixed Savini's tire in San Antonio when he was working on Planet Terror. He was nice and gave me one of his cards."
Oh my god, really?
What
How
why
why is he mean to us, dude?
why was he I don't understand this. Wait, what
Yeah,
it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I feel like it is our fault. Why is he mean to us?
he was a
I
freaking
I
asshole.
I feel like we just caught him on a bad day. I feel like cuz I don't know, man. We saw him in that hotel room surrounded by all these people that was just licking his taint. And he wasn't being mean. He was just
No.
kind of like taking it in, laying down like a schlub in the bed with two chicks around his arms
Yeah.
and kind of like this. Like it was so sore. I wish I could go back to that moment because I gotta say it again. The glory days of conventions is gone
It's toast.
because that was the glory days where
Yeah.
all the talent was staying in the hotel that it was going down at, and literally it was like a block party. You'd
Yeah.
go down the hotels and doors would be open to all the hotel rooms. You could just kind of go in and out. And literally you'd have like Tom Savini. You could be rooming next door to Bill Moseley.
Mhm.
It was just yeah, like to walk in a hotel room and Tom Savini's in bed with a couple of bitches and he's got a whole bunch of people in there drinking booze and watching one of his films. I mean, that's a good look. It seems so
I remember
weird.
getting drunk with, Rusty from European Vacation, dude.
Yeah, you got a picture of you kissing him or something, or he's kissing you or something, right? Kissing him
No,
on the cheek.
no.
Who
I
were you
don't
kissing?
I wasn't kissing anybody. Was I?
There well, Nate stuck his tongue, Lush stuck his tongue in fucking what's his face's mouth,
Uh,
Evil Ed.
what's the Stephen Jeffries?
Yeah. Didn't he, like, stick his tongue down Stephen
Uh,
Jeffrey's
he
throat,
he
dude?
took he took us out to Waffle House. He bought us breakfast, dude. Like, he's like, "I wanna go out to eat." So, we were talking to him prior to that, and, he's like, "I don't have a car," so we're like, "Oh, we'll drive you to Waffle House." So, we took him to Waffle House. He told us stories. I don't really remember what they were, but, yeah, he bought us breakfast and everything. He was a super nice guy, but yeah.
But that's how cool it was.
Yeah.
Like, literally, these people were because they are just people. They're just
Yeah.
people making supplemental income. Most of the guys in the con circuit had second jobs. Like, this isn't my real job. I'm just making some extra money because I was in this shitty film like 20 years ago. And it was really, really, really cool. And it's just done, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know how cool it'd be to like just be walking at the Ramada Inn, you pass a room and like, "Hey, come on in." And it's, fucking Kane Hodder getting a blowjob from somebody and like it's doing coke, doing lines in the bathroom.
Well, I
I don't
posted
know.
that picture of us, with Herschel from, Walking Dead,
Yeah.
and he died a few years later, like, it's just, like, it's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
Scott Wilson.
Scott
Yeah.
Wilson, yeah, it's I
And that's when it
he
was
was
blowing.
such a nice guy too,
It was starting to ramp up because The Walking Dead was so big.
and that's what
It
killed the cons, man, Walking
but the
Dead.
con scene owes everything of the industry that it is now because of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
I don't care about it's The Walking Dead. Because yeah, I mean, even if you had like Marvel and stuff, nerd culture was obviously really big with Marvel and it's like super mainstream, but that still would have been just like San Diego Comic Con, more of the show floor case promotional thing. It was The Walking Dead that brought it to the conventions of like feeding meeting fans and signing autographs and all that stuff. And now
it
it's in a
hurt the fans, but it helped the celebrities, The Walking Dead did.
oh yeah, I know, but now guys like Norman Reedus and all those guys showed how much money there is in it. And
Yeah,
the difference was they were relevant.
mhm,
They weren't like actors from they weren't Tom Atkins.
mhm,
They were on a current hit show. Even if the character just died, it was
yeah,
like literally they knew they were gonna die, and literally the week after they died, they had con appearances,
yeah,
and they were huge.
mhm,
They were like superstars, and so that was the huge difference. Is you had something relevant on the air that was doing this, and but it also kind of fit the world of the conventions because we weren't used to having horror shows, let alone horror shows that were like the number one show on TV. So it was kind of a lightning in a bottle moment. And then fast forward a few years later, and now you do have Marvel actors and everything doing the big cons. I mean, like the con here at Phoenix Fan Fusion,
mhm,
Jace Momoa does it, Chris Evans, big stars do it.
yeah.
And so now it's they just opened the floodgates with it. And like Todd said, it ruined it for everybody because now it's just like $300, $500. It's stupid. Like it was going to cost $500 to beat Robert Engel and get something signed, and we didn't even fucking get the courtesy of getting ripped off.
No, it
Like,
caters to the celebrities, not to the fans anymore. They don't give a shit about the fans anymore.
but I'm glad you had a good experience, Kishido. I'm not trying to be
Yeah,
like that. We just
that's
kind of had a
awesome. I wish
so
we
what
did.
I'm curious, he gave you one of his cards. What was the purpose of that, right? Because you're obviously like working as a mechanic or something like that. Was it like, here, call me sometime? I've got more cars, or was it saying, call me sometimes? You got a face for the pictures. What was the car? What? Why would he give mechanic a card? I'm very curious, actually, where how the conversation went. But let me kind of go back to this email. Let's kind of get through this. Oh man, what?
I just from the dynamite, blowing
Oh, you
cars up.
some.
Yeah, let's get through this email because 'cause I'm curious, this ending, the email.
Yeah. So here we go. Yeah. So we just got off by saying that when he turned in his director's cut, Joe Wolf had said they had something, and everybody else who saw it said he had a competent zombie movie. Okay. What happened next was truly mind-boggling. Oh, I already read that part when she fired everybody and had everybody come
Yeah,
in and
yeah.
read all shit. Then to cover the endless plot holes and the lack of structure, she added the loop dialogue in ways which, as you noted, are arguably laughably absurd. For example, the first date you see in the film, where Matthew takes Laurie to the construction site, was
Mm,
originally shot as the final scene in the movie when Matthew takes Laurie to overlook his shattered dreams. When it was brought up that there wasn't enough character development in the relationship between Laurie and Matthew, they added in the ridiculous dialogue you heard and tried to make it look like a first date,
mm,
overdubbed. The worst thing she did was in her butchering and slaughtering the sequence with Tom Savini. Firstly, the incessant mumbling made me wonder if he was in a zombie movie or Savini doing Popeye. Yeah, exactly. Secondly, the scenes were completely robbed of any suspense or tension due to the unorthodox editing and lack of a musical score. Originally, Savini's daughter was cast, and she turned in a terrific performance as a girl being pursued by zombies,
mm,
who Savini saved by blowing up the car. She was also in the scene right after that with Savini saving her from two oncoming zombies. Why she was cut out is probably due to the fact that Karen didn't like her.
huh,
As for the choices in editing, I wasn't present, so I have no idea what was going through this guy's head. Louis Schonbraun did the re-edit. I was never once contacted by he or Karen to cover the many numerous plot holes that were in Karen's script. The two of these guys got together and put together scenes that were outtakes drawn from the context of the other scenes and loop dialogue dropped over. What was going through these people's heads is beyond me. But ain't show business grand. We're going to wrap it up. We're at the end of the movie, too, by the way. Which, by the way, this ending, we'll get to it in a second. My feeling is that there is a movie in there somewhere in the dailies that isn't the travesty you unfortunately witnessed. Sorry you had to sit through it. And as much as I hate to say it, it is my fault for allowing this to go on. I'm apologizing because, as director of the film, it is ultimately my responsibility to deliver the goods. When circumstances present themselves that make it impossible to do so, my obligation to the craft is to leave the project. This being my second film, I hung in there because no matter what happened, if I had walked out, it would have made me look like a quitter. That's a good point. I'm on his side here. It's like he didn't really have the balls. It's like this is my second film. Maybe he would have felt like he would have got blackballed, right? As
Yeah,
like, oh, this guy.
but, I mean, she had no name to her either, so I don't
But
think
the
it was.
producers, but it's the producers, probably. You know what I mean? He says, anyway, my first film is actually quite good and it's gotten really good reviews on it. Perhaps you'll have the chance to check it out sometime, and I would welcome any feedback on it. I agree with your assessment on children. Based on the cut you saw, myself and everyone involved look like idiots. I'd like to think I'm not one, and I'm walking away from children with a brand new perspective on the perils of taking on a project when
Chevy
all the
Lumina, I used to drive that.
oh yeah, dude, everybody, those were all over the place, and they never all the paint always peeled off like
Yep,
crazy,
my
dude.
paint was gone on
That,
my
that
white one.
and they're officially off the roads now. I haven't seen one in years.
Yeah, I picked my wife up for that on my first date with her, and
Was she like, "What's this piece of shit?"
she makes fun of my ass to this day now. She didn't tell me at the time, but yeah,
Like, oh god, like, I almost didn't answer the call for the second date.
pretty much.
That's so funny. She knew what you were driving. You guys were working together. Come on, she knew what she was signing up for.
Well,
Lumen all the way, baby. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this. The email's done, but he says, I'm walking away from children with a brand new perspective on the perils of taking on a project when all the tools a filmmaker should have are taken away. Like the man said, experience is what you get when you didn't get what you wanted. And that is the end of the story. Best wishes, Tor Ramsey, director of Children of the Living Dead. So very, very cool that he responded.
yeah.
Look, this ending is stupid, guys. I don't understand it. What was the ending? He's just walking away. I think he's gonna give a look to the camera, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Sequel bait. Come to the hospital. He wishes. Yeah, I don't understand the ending though. So
Uh,
they killed the bus zombies and that was it? Like what happened? It just feels like
uh,
it abruptly ends, doesn't it?
then they showed Tom Savini up close. Uh, I
Oh,
would
it's just the cast they're showing.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay.
But like they were getting surrounded by the zombies
I think
and
I
they shoot a couple of them and then I don't know. Like she shot the sheriff, she shot the cop, and then like you see the people at the end, the other cop like, "Oh, good shot. Oh, she had to kill him." Like that's no questioning. They're like leaving, and the movie ends. And then we see this. They didn't even kill the big bad. We didn't even kill Abbott. Abbott's just walking away.
then we get the Pet Cemetery too. I never seen
Yeah,
anybody die before. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's also like the Scream ending, isn't it? Don't
Yeah,
they do this in Scream too?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it's really really gross, man. Yeah. That is a that
A Spirit Halloween mask, I'd probably buy it though, 'cause
yeah, it's okay for a Halloween mask. But yeah, this movie's ass, guys. Thank you so much for helping us watch it and get through it. And
yeah.
thank you to thank you to Will for hooking me up with that source material, man. Gave
Yeah,
us some
man, it's been
insight,
years since I've seen that website, man.
and I can't
Homepage
believe
is
it's still
dead,
up.
it's been yeah,
Yeah, I
forever.
don't know how old that actual article is or whatever, but it is interesting. This video that you guys are watching, I was actually shocked to see that it's got like 60 comments, right? If you guys are watching on the link we gave you, and people love this damn movie. What the hell is going on? There's people in that
I
comment.
think people were duped like we were, where they actually went out and bought the damn thing and were
Yeah,
pissed off.
but why aren't they pissed? They were like happy. I mean, look, this is
Is there
Yeah,
anybody that says they like this movie in here?
yeah, that's what I'm saying in the on the YouTube. Yeah, on
Oh,
the
on
video,
YouTube it does, okay.
the source video.
Well,
Let me
let's read a couple of them.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous, man. Let me find it really quick. I got
Abbott
it right
Hayes
here.
terrified me when I was 6 to 9 years old. Love this movie. Oh my god, Steven Riley. Say it
Let's
ain't
see.
so.
Of all the zombie movies I've watched, these zombies always creep me out since I was a kid, all right?
Oh,
And this guy says, "My childhood right here, underrated zombie flick." Look,
terrible childhood.
bro, I always thought this movie was some fever dream of mine. Can't believe after all these years I found it. That's not really praise. Let's see. Better than Warm Bodies, but not as good as Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2 and Night of the Living Dead 90. The fact that it's better than anything.
Nice
Let's see.
movie.
There's some funny comments in there too. Somebody says half the time they're looking at the camera thinking, quote, "Did I fuck up the scene?" you know. But yeah, this is
Cool
child
movie.
childhood memories. And then there's somebody in here that says, okay, here we go. I love zombie movies. Right, right. I'm not gonna lie. I've only ever seen the movie maybe once or twice. Abbott Hayes is one of the most iconic zombies I've seen. Yes, he's scary and terrifying. You can see in the dark standing there, staring right at you, and I'm smiling. That's how terrifying he was back then. What in the hell?
I must really like
Yeah.
zombies.
Yeah, this is all of these Rivermans back then. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Giggles. Russo's alt accounts, dude.
Yeah.
But anyway,
This
trash, 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 trash.
Tom
Is this
Savini's best film.
Is this the war? Is that? Oh yeah, golly, guys. These people have to be trolling, man. So is this the worst zombie movie you've ever seen, River, or do you
Yeah.
got anything
Yeah.
lower?
This is the worst.
Really
Yes.
interesting. Hey, it was Dolby in select theaters.
I never wanna watch this film again. I had to watch it, what, earlier, and then I watched it again now.
I watched it twice in one day. I
Yeah,
hold the record, dude.
it's
Oh,
brutal.
is there sequel bait? I didn't even see this. There's after credits, dude. Is that Michael Berryman, dude? No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding. I don't get it. What's the? I'm
I'm
turning it
like,
up
what
so
are
I
we
can
gonna
hear
do?
it.
Is it extra footage? Trying to steal his
It's got
wallet?
it's got some like A-Team music.
I think he just took his wallet.
I I don't get it.
It's supposed to be funny.
Is it supposed to be funny?
Yeah,
So
because he
not
stole
see
the zombie's money.
so the
Haha.
ending doesn't even make sense, man, because it's like they didn't even kill all the zombies. They didn't even kill the main zombie. They just kind of survived one brush and it's over. Like there's no finality. Anyway, movie sucks. Movie's trash. I promise next week we're gonna do a good movie. That's my word. We're gonna do another vote.
1 out of
Uh,
10.
and but do check out Wednesday, a couple days ago, we did Jungle Holocaust, which turned out fantastic.
Yeah.
And you guys voted for that. We decided to go the cannibal route. We haven't decided what we're going to do next week for our poll. We'll figure it out though. But Jungle Holocaust was a really good one. I think I need to give the Mowgli's a break though. I filled my quota with that kind of stuff, man.
Yeah,
But
I'll give that a break too.
if you guys love it, we'll keep doing more cannibal flicks too. But anyway, we'll let you guys know. Do us a favor. If you guys dig it, if you dig us, please leave a comment on this video, either in post when it's posted for everybody. Leave a comment. That's going to help us out more than anything with the algorithms. Like the video. By all means, if you aren't subscribed, please subscribe. Help us out. Riverman and I are in prison for another 6 weeks. We got demonetized because the man is trying to keep yours truly down. And we're not going to have it. So we're going to come back stronger than ever in October when we'll be monetized. In the meantime, if you want to support us, we do have a Patreon. You can buy us a cup of coffee down there. But if not, just help out the videos, man. Share them with people you know. Leave a comment and a like. That's plenty, and it's all
Go
we
to
can
our
really ask.
X page or Twitter page and like it, and communicate with us through there too, because I'm always on there.
We're gonna do a bit of a relaunching in October when we become monetized again, when we get our features back. We're going to have new merch. We're going to have everything linked. And, there's going to be ways to support us if you want to. But in the meantime, leave us feedback. You guys have been leaving us feedback on the commentaries, which I love. And the general consensus seems to be that you guys like that we are going back to doing commentaries as the primary
We're
source
sticking
of
with
what
it.
we do, because it's where we started. And I just want to say that the only reason we really kind of fell off is because uh, of schedules.
Mhm.
So somebody was asking me about that and asked me about like Zach and stuff. And I could never imagine doing commentaries without Zach. That's why we just kind of like, okay, I'll wait for him. We'll do other stuff. And, Zach got so busy with school, and, we did like 3 commentaries in a year. We were doing them every like once a quarter, like maybe 4 in a year. And it, it just got to a point where everybody's still busy. We can't align all the schedules. So either it continues like that, or if we actually do more commentaries, we just kind of do it with us, and if people can jump along when they can.
Stuck with
Because the
me.
thing is,
Sorry.
no, we're still, dude, we're gonna have Zach on again, Max,
I know,
everybody,
I know.
we're still gonna. But the thing is when they do come on, it it's gonna be as often as he probably was gonna be able to do it if we were just doing them with him. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So, but do by all means, they have their gang channel. They're also trying to promote and help out. Follow them. They're on our YouTube page. You can find their links and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back hardcore and everything else. But bottom line is, for us to be able to hit these hard twice a week, we got to go with whoever can be involved with it. So, but we love that you guys like them. Keep letting us know what you want to see, giving us ideas. Every time I think we've done everything, I'm reminded that there's a million things we haven't done, and you guys are letting us know. So we'll catch you guys later. Bye.
See